It's after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Allison Metcalf is in the studio. Allison has been with us before, but today she's by herself, so I get to ask her. This is like one of my favorite parts of what you do at Ocala Health. I mean, I know you get people healthy, but I like the fact that you have programs. Some of them are fun. Some of them are field trips. When I was a kid, I always loved field trips. Remember when the teacher said, we're going on a field trip? Remember that, Robin?
Yeah.
We're going on a field trip. Allison is with H2U. You're the manager of the Senior Wellness Community Center at Ocala Health, and you're here to talk to us about what you do over there. March is National Nutrition Month, so I don't know if that's going to be part of this or not, but it says it in my notes, so it is. So. Good morning, Allison. How are you doing?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm great. Thanks.
They sent you by yourself today, huh?
They did. Everybody seems to be tied up with Nutrition Month and some other activities, so I was asked to come down and represent Ocala Health today.
So you're like the activities director for the town?
Sort of, kind of, yes.
Or for the older part of the town?
For 50 and older, typically.
You have to be 50?
You don't have to be. It's geared towards, everything we do is geared towards folks 50 and older, but you don't have to be 50. I have folks that are younger that are members, and actually, employees of Ocala Health, as a perk, can be an H2U member as well.
Oh, really?
So, and we do have a couple of employees who have different shifts, work night shift, different things that do come and take part of our programs.
And H2U means?
H2U stands for Health to You.
Health to You.
So it's a health, wellness, and prevention program, again, geared towards 50 and older. And it is one of three things we do there. I do want to point that out. At the Senior Wellness Center, we actually have kind of three lines of service, if you want to call it that. H2U is our primary. We also host free seminars. People have seen our little calendars at the hospital, probably, and some doctor's appointments. So we host free seminars that are open to anyone in the public that they can come and attend. Mostly health, wellness, prevention, focus, but we also do some things like protecting your identity, how to avoid scams as a senior. We might even have veteran services come in and talk about veterans benefits 3 or 4 times a year. So we mix it up with some other things that are of interest to our senior population, but it is, again, open to anyone. Is
politics creeping into your world now as it is ours? Well, of course it would ours because we're a radio station, but
it does. I mean, it affects everybody's business, unfortunately.
So you have do you ever have seminars where you talk politics?
Not really.
No?
When we do have every year a veterans recognition, and we used to have some local elected officials come and be a part of that. In fact, our mayor came last year in November. So
we have a great mayor, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. And then our third line that we do is our diabetes education program. So that's our outpatient program through Ocala Health. That's a doctor-ordered program. There's a 3-week class that most people take. Sometimes that doesn't work because of their work schedule. So often, Amy, our dietitian, who I'll talk about a little later, will do one-on-one with those folks. It's not as intense, it's not as much information, but at least it's something that they're getting. So those are doctor-ordered, generally insurance-covered services. So that's the one thing we do that's kind of the doctor side of things with our program at Ocala Health with Senior Wellness.
And what is the typical way that members keep up with what you have to offer?
Well, we have 2 things. We have our seminar calendar that anybody can grab at the hospitals, family care specialists, lots of other doctors' offices. We put it out at One Blood, the Veterans Clinic down on the Boulevard, Aging and Adult Services. So we get it out there. We also have for our H2U members, because that's kind of a separate membership program, a newsletter that goes out once a month. It comes from our national office, but I get to edit and produce the content for 4 pages.
Oh, okay.
So that includes our calendar of all of our activities. It includes any nutritional information from Amy that she wants to get out there, any new classes or new things we're offering. We try to promote that as well in the newsletter. So that's how they keep track.
And the people have to really have some kind of guidelines that you offer because there's so much information out there that's so conflicting, you don't know what to believe.
You're right. And that's why we do a lot of what we do. One of the things that I decided to do when I came on board last year was kind of ramp up what we're doing for both H2U and the free seminars, just kind of offer more to the community so that they are informed. It's hard to take care of your health if you're not informed. And so our senior population particularly, not always as internet savvy as the rest of us are. They don't always know to do internet research on things. They're learning to do that. I will tell you, as the boomer generation's getting there, that's not as much of an issue.
That's what we're considered, the boomers.
Yeah. I'm not quite there, almost, but not quite.
You don't even look close to boomer.
Oh, I'm
You're closer than we think?
I'm kind of,
you got that young look?
Top edge of Gen X, just kind of.
Oh, okay, okay.
So 47.
You know what? I don't know if this is more for Amy. Amy's the nutrition?
Amy's our dietitian, yes.
But lately we've had a couple of conversations with people talking about supplements and things like that, and they'll talk about food that can be an inhibitor. Like, let's say you're taking vitamin something and you're eating kale.
Right.
And it can either, sometimes like the combination of things. Does that ever come up?
It does come up. And in fact, Amy often will address that in her diabetes education class. But one of the things Amy's doing with us trying to ramp up our program is she has graciously agreed to be part of our new Healthy Living, Healthy Eating series for the H2U members. So that means that once a month she does a class just for H2U members on healthy eating, healthy diet. She'll even do a food demonstration. And those kinds of questions do come up. And Amy is the person to answer those. I'm not a dietitian.
Right.
But yes, it does come up, and you are right. There are things out there that are contraindicated that will intervene with each other, interfere. So if
or the other way, they'll enhance, their availability. Is what they say, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the things we try to promote is supplements are great, medications are great, but it's better to get your nutrition from food and not food products.
Vitamin D from the sun.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So our focus is truly on that kind of health, wellness, prevention side of things. And while supplements are great, not all supplements are equal. You can't always absorb them as well, depending on what you're taking or what your particular diseases or conditions are. So Amy can speak very, very highly to that.
And the people will have things that they're not 100% perfect. They'll have diabetes or thyroid issues, and that all
affects everything. People, I think, are starting to finally understand everything in your body interacts, including your brain. So you can't really separate things out as much as we used to in what we call traditional or modern medicine.
And that just rings true, doesn't it?
Yes.
So can I ask you about the field trips?
Sure. We actually haven't done any since I've been there. They kind of fell by the wayside a little because we were having trouble getting people interested in them.
Oh, tell us about them. We'll spread the word.
But here's what we are doing. Colette Travel is partnering with us.
What's it called?
Colette
Travel, okay.
And we're just kind of in exploratory stages. We've put it out in our newsletter. If you're interested, please call us. In travel, whether domestic or foreign, we just want to know if we have enough people interested in taking tours, group tours together. They actually are being very gracious that we don't have to have like a ton of people. They said even if we just have one or two that were interested, they would incorporate us into another group.
That'd be cool.
What they're looking at is if we can get enough people, though, that are interested, then we can get as much as a $500 discount on a tour, whether it's domestic or foreign.
Really? Does it always have to be educational, or could it be pure fun?
These are fun.
So you could go to a casino cruise?
Or something.
Yeah, cruises.
Oh, Germany. Oh, you want to go far away. Oh.
Colette's catalog is about 2 inches thick between domestic and foreign tours. It's huge. So we could do, Tuscany for a week in Italy.
Wouldn't you like to do that? I would love to do that.
Absolutely. And I get to go. If we actually get one up, I get to go on the trip. So
I would love to go. What was that movie we saw? I like chick flicks.
Under the Tuscan Sun.
Yeah. Do you know any other men that liked it? I liked that movie.
Actually, quite a few men do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think because it's Italy, there's a lot of, I hate to say it, but macho stuff that kind of goes on in the movie too.
Yeah, we want to be that guy.
There's that stuff for the guys in there too.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested in Colette Travel, you can call us at 401-1338. We'll talk to you about H2U. You'd have to become a member, which is very inexpensive. It's $20 a year for a person.
$20
$20 a year, or $35 for a household. And we consider a household any people that are living at the same address. Doesn't matter what your relationship is.
Okay.
And it's for every second person. So I actually have a situation where I have a mom and dad, their daughter, and the daughter's husband all living in the same house. So they each paid per couple $35.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh. Let me just stop that music because we have a phone call. I don't want the phone call to wait. We can take a little break a little bit late, but we'll take a phone call and then a break. Good morning. Thank you for calling and for waiting. You're on there with Allison Metcalf. Are you there? Well, I guess not. Well, let's do the music again. All right. You are welcome to call. The number is 622-9622. We'll take that break I thought I was going to postpone, and we'll be right back with Allison in just a moment. This is WOCA.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For Thursday, clouds and limited sunshine with a high of 80 across the coastal areas to about 87 inland. And partly cloudy and mild Thursday night, low 61 inland, 67 along the coast. For Friday, mostly cloudy with a shower or thunderstorm around mainly in the afternoon, the high 80 to 84. And on Saturday, plenty of clouds along with an afternoon shower or thunderstorm, high 78 to 82. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Bob Kennedy with Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty will be on the air Friday at 9:30 a.m. to talk about real estate. Bob will be addressing issues concerning the local real estate market, financing, trends, and even spotlight a listing or two. The program is interactive, and that means your calls are an important part of the show. So whether you're buying, selling, renting, or acting as a landlord, be sure to tune in Fridays 9:30 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source, 96.3 FM and 1370 a.m.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Yeah, I'm that drip coming down from the corner of the room. But where did I come from? I'll never tell.
Bone Dry Roofing can and will fix it right the first time using quality materials and will deal honestly and fairly with you, period. You can find Bone Dry Roofing on their website, bonedryroofingllc.com, and Facebook at Bone Dry Roofing LLC. Do it right before your roof needs a tarp to keep the elements out. Bone Dry Roofing stands behind the work to help make your home safe and secure, plus they have financing available. Remember, if you're not bone dry, then you're all wet.
Cookies, 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 cookies. We go cookie eating cookies.
When you want something special and fun for any occasion, get cookies. King Cookie in the Paddock Mall in Ocala will make a delicious, fun-filled delight just for you. So next time you're in the mall, stop by King Cookie or call 352-237-2557. KingCookieOcala.com. Customized cookies, cakes, and more. King Cookie.
Eating cookies. We're so happy eating cookies. Cookies!
Ocala's Got Talent, happening in May, but if you want to get in on the running, you need to apply. The dates are March 12th, 19th, and 26th from 10 to 6 p.m. each day, and the location is at Mojo's on Southwest 17th Street. Do you have what it takes to shine and stand out in what you do? Well, there's only one first place winner for Ocala's Got Talent, and it could be you. Audition fee is just $25, and spectator fee is $5. This helps the Heart of Florida Youth Ranch. Questions, call 352-595-7100.
18 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Allison Metcalf is with us she is the H2U manager of the Senior Wellness Community Center at Ocala Health. During the break, we were talking about dancing because you're a dancer, you're an actress, you've been in a lot of, I know you're cringing, but I think what it says to me is that what you're doing with Ocala Health fits in perfectly because you're because part of life, I mean, why do we live except to have something that enriches our lives?
Absolutely. And honestly, things like dance, they're healthy. They're good for you. And H2U, we actually offer ballroom dancing, line dancing, and we're actually going to be offering, starting April 1st, Zumba Gold, which is Zumba for people who are 50 and older or who have limitations.
Really?
So.
We gave away 2 tickets this morning to Carmina Burana. Do you know that?
Yes, in Gainesville. Mm-hmm. Or are they doing it here at the Riley, though, aren't they?
No. This is I don't know if they are.
In Gainesville?
But this is the one in Gainesville.
Dance Alive. Actually, that's the school I danced with in Gainesville.
Is that right?
Yeah. I didn't dance in Dance Alive, but I was the school, which is Pofall
I wish we had more
Studios.
tickets. We could give them to you, but we gave the last 2 away this morning.
I've actually sung Carmina Burana before.
Is that right?
With Dance Alive.
And that's got that big piece in it.
You have the symphony, you have the chorus, and you have the dance, the ballet.
Yeah.
And if you have all 3 elements, that's like the coup de grace. So.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to see that.
That is
That'd
so
be
cool.
great.
Yeah, we should have held those tickets.
That's okay. I've seen it, been there, done that.
But the funny thing is, the average person didn't know what it was.
Right.
So when we were giving tickets away, the average person didn't call in and say they wanted it. As soon as we played the music, they said, "Oh,
yeah,
I know that."
You hear commercials, or it's all over commercials.
Yeah,
you know. So
yeah.
Good stuff.
So are you going, is that a field trip, going up to the ballet? No?
I wish we could get enough people to do that. It's hard to do that because most of our folks are very active and they drive themselves and do their own thing.
Yeah,
so we're not
that's
really,
true too.
We're not really dealing with the segment of the senior population that is sitting at home and doesn't have a way to drive.
I bet you they'd show up though. Do you know, I used to be an activities director. Did I ever tell you this?
No, I didn't know that. I was too for a while.
For Park Place. This was 15.
Which living.
Park Place East?
West.
Oh, West. Okay.
15 years ago or so.
I was at Park Place East when West opened. I helped open it.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So when did they open? What year was that?
I don't remember. It's about 15 years ago.
So it was relatively new when I was there.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know that I wasn't allowed legally to drive the bus, the big bus, because Park Place East had a big bus. Park Place West had to borrow it.
Right.
Yeah, because you had a
So I
CDL
called
license.
up. I said, "Can we borrow the bus?" Sure. I drove over there with Robin. We drove the bus back. We filled it up. We took a whole bunch of people to Mr. Berman. He was the conductor at that time.
To the college, to CFCC, to
Symphony.
the concert.
Yeah.
Symphony.
And then I think we took the bus maybe 3 times before somebody said, "Do you have whatever license it is?" I
You
said,
don't have a CDL.
"Yeah, I don't know. Let me look."
Yeah, he's got a CDL, but not the.
I didn't have the
class.
right one
thing,
for the
yeah.
bus, so.
And that's one thing else you're doing is that you're doing men's core strength and fitness too. It's not just for women.
Absolutely, and that's something we found out when I first got there, April a year ago. I realized we did not have a lot of our male members actually participating. A little bit in ballroom dance, tiny bit in line dancing, maybe 1 or 2 in Tai Chi. That was it. So I said, what are we not doing for them? So I put a survey out to our male population only, our male H2U members, and one of the big things that came back is they would take an all-men's fitness class. They didn't want to do like the exercise class or some of the other classes with women. They felt uncomfortable.
You always think of it the other way, don't
Exactly, but they were uncomfortable. I guess they don't. And
They don't want to be. They don't want to be ogled.
and they don't want to look less macho than perhaps they feel mentally in front of women. So we decided to offer an all-men's core strength and fitness class. And David Barnes, he was with me last time. He's our all-men's fitness instructor. He has done a marvelous job. We have a regular group of guys now, and it's like having a personal hands-on trainer at a fraction of the cost. Because his class, if you're an H2U member, is $25
your
for
program,
4 classes.
I love your program. I wish everybody would hear about this program.
I agree. And David's actually starting a new class in May for anyone called Find Your Balance. A lot of the women have seen the men going and having such a great time and a benefit almost immediately. Why can't we come? Well, we don't want women in that class for a reason, but we'll talk to David. So David's doing now Find Your Balance for anyone. So it'll focus on core strengths, but also other areas that affect your balance. There are other things like your vestibular area, ears and balance. There are things and exercises you can do to maintain balance. Because one of the things we're trying to look at is preventing falls. I know you've probably heard.
I don't mean to interrupt, but we had a guest one time talking about crystals that form in your inner ear.
Correct.
Okay,
So,
and the movement can get rid of them or
it
something?
doesn't do that, but it can help you learn to cope and counteract better.
Okay.
So, but one of the things we see in our trauma center at Ocala Regional is a high incidence of fall-related injuries with seniors, and the traumas are typically fall-related. They're head injury or they're a broken hip, typically. So we thought, let's look at preventing falls. What can we do to help prevent falls in the people we're working with? So at least we have a few less in our trauma center that are our senior trauma with head injury particularly. So
what's coming up that you're very excited about?
I'm excited about those 2 classes particularly, the Zumba Gold.
Sounds like you are, yeah.
And the Find Your Balance class. Our goal is to add 4 classes. We've already added 2, Healthy Living, Healthy Eating, which is free to any H2U member. It's a twice-a-month little class, and we started the men's class. We're starting Zumba Gold in April, and we're doing the Find Your Balance in May. So
and where do you meet for these things?
It's all at our center, believe it or not. We do it all in one big room. We just change the room up.
And where's the room?
9850 Southwest 84th Court, and we're in Suite 500. What I tell people is we're behind the Winn-Dixie and before the gate to On Top of the World.
There you go. I know exactly where you are.
Easiest way to find us.
And you also focus on Amy and the seminars.
Yeah, since it is Nutrition Month, one of the things we wanted to highlight today was that Amy has kicked in with that healthy eating, healthy living. She also does the diabetes education program. She also goes out from us and speaks to our bariatric class, the folks who are going to have bariatric surgery, and our cardiac class at West Marion. So she's branched out quite a bit. She's also now agreed to every month do a monthly free seminar on our free seminar side that's open to anyone and tie nutrition into something for that month. An example is one of the things we're looking at in April is cancer and cancer prevention, so she's doing nutrition and cancer and how they interrelate.
And that's another thing I think what we're hoping? We're hoping that we can change our eating and save our lives. That's what we're hoping.
Correct. It all has to do with what you put in your body. Period. I mean, that's a big part. There's 2 pieces to your health.
So hard when people bring donuts, isn't it?
I was out in your waiting area, and I'm like, I can't eat any of that and go in there and talk about eating and nutrition. So we look at 2 things, the nutrition side and the activity side, because those are the 2 things that really, truly impact your health. And you can make a huge difference in your life just by making a few changes.
And going back to the diabetes part, I mean, that's what we heard about diabetes, is that if you walked, you might avoid diabetes. Is that too simple?
It's not too simple. And actually, Amy will talk about that in her class with her folks, that just walking 30 minutes a day, even if you break it up 15 minutes 2 times a day, if you already are diabetic or you're borderline and you're looking at your blood sugar, it will actually bring your blood sugar down, and it'll bring what's called your AC1 number down. That's another number that's important for diabetics. So, and it's been proven. It just takes 30 minutes a day.
Yeah. We had Amy's husband in here, by the way. He did an album, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he probably did. He's a musician.
Yeah. Let's see. And also you did a seminar on gluten by Melissa Lozano.
We did.
I mean, gluten is a kind of a scary word because nobody really knows what that means.
And that's why she did it. She was called Gluten, What's All the Fuss About? So that people would come in and find out, what is gluten? Why is it a big issue?
Right, yeah.
And honestly, she'll be very honest with you. Melissa's an ARNP with family care specialist. She eats gluten-free because she has a sensitivity. Not everybody does. And there's a very small percentage that have a true allergy. And that's somebody who's called a celiac. They have celiac disease. And they
So you would have known this all your life, or not necessarily?
No.
Oh,
no.
Really?
You wouldn't know why you've been sick and having bowel issues and all those things.
Oh, my goodness.
Until you start cutting out like wheat products and then go, oh, I feel a lot better now.
Uh-huh.
So Melissa would talk about that there's a very few people that are truly allergic to that extent, that really cannot eat gluten. There's a fair amount that are sensitive. My father was one of them before he passed away. He had kind of like an irritable bowel issue, and as soon as he decided, I'm going to go gluten-free just to see.
Just to see.
Within 48 hours, his symptoms disappeared.
My goodness.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's a population out there that is sensitive. I think I probably have inherited that a bit. I've been trying to cut back on gluten a little.
Oh, really?
It's hard to do
Have
because
you
I
noticed
love
it?
my bread. So,
But you are an athlete, though, and that's what really boggles our mind, is because even athletes and people that are in terrific shape can be affected.
You're right. I'm not as in good a shape as I used to be, but you're right. It really, you can be as healthy as you can be. If you have a food allergy or sensitivity, it's something you need to be aware of as well. And Melissa talked about it's really healthy for everyone to go gluten-free or to limit gluten, but it's not a necessity for everyone. It's a necessity for those who are sensitive or allergic.
And bottom line, all bread has gluten in it? Is that
You
right?
can get gluten-free. You have to
Does
look
it
for
taste?
it.
Does it taste?
You know, I actually been eating it lately. I tried a couple
How do they
of brands.
remove gluten?
It's not that they remove it. Here's what happened. We hybridized wheat so that you could grow a lot more in a smaller space. One of the byproducts of that is the gluten increased.
Oh, really?
Exponentially.
Okay.
So it's not that they intended to do that, it just kind of happened.
Right.
So if you go back to wheat that's pre-hybridized, that has just the normal what wheat used to have, just naturally a tiny bit of gluten.
Oh, really?
Then you can make bread and you can also make bread with rice flour, lots of other flours out there, but you can use wheat flour that's pre-hybridized.
What else do you avoid? Do you avoid sugar?
I avoid refined white sugar as much as possible.
Okay.
I eat raw organic sugar as much as I can if I'm going to have sugar. So I don't avoid it altogether. I just try to go back to to before we started processing stuff.
Yeah.
Because most
Do you avoid meat? Red meat?
No.
No.
I am a carnivore.
Nice. Me too.
I like
We
my
like
red meat.
hamburgers.
Now I don't eat it as much as I'd like.
So corned beef. You know what we learned this morning? Corned beef and cabbage is today's food, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
of
of
course,
St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
So do you know what corned beef means?
I really don't.
Oh, where's that note?
It was so interesting.
The word corned
Never knew what
means
that meant.
it's preserved in a salty brine. There's no corn involved at all.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
It's somehow, what did it go back to? The Jewish people or something?
Yeah, the Jewish people.
The Irish people came over here. They found out that the Jewish people did something with their something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they came up with it. Because corned beef is an Irish-American thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is not really an Irish thing.
Yeah.
In Ireland, they don't eat corned beef on St. Patrick's Day.
It went back to pork.
Are you doing any St. Patrick's Day things today?
We're not, actually. We had our diabetes education class this morning, and we have our Busy Bee Crafters this afternoon. So
Oh, okay.
That was kind of, the day is already shot on Thursdays.
For the listeners, the H2O program, you have to sign up for this. Look into this.
Or at least call us. Or go to H2U.com and take a look at the national website and see what we're all about.
Your life, I mean, you will have so much more to do and so many opportunities to learn, to have fun, to do.
Absolutely.
That's what I should do.
To get off the couch.
I'm off the couch a lot. But
I know, but other people aren't. And this will give them a good reason.
plus, we can go to, what was it called again in Italy? Where are we going?
Tuscan.
Tuscan. I want to go to Tuscan with Allison. All right, we will. Thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
That was
Thank you so
fun.
much for having me today.
Here comes Joe. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The Secretary of State makes a declaration about ISIS.
Daesh is responsible for genocide against groups in areas under its control, including Yazidis, Christians, and Shia Muslims.
John Kerry saying that while the naming of crimes is important, stopping them is essential. There's new information out on the Army sergeant at the center of a controversial prisoner swap in Afghanistan.
Bo Bergdahl's attorneys released a document from July.